I've had the iPhone 15 Pro Max for a few days now, and I have some thoughts. Of course, I got the iPhone 15 Pro Max in the natural titanium, which is the best color for the iPhone 15 Pro Max. All you blue people out there, the black phone users, the white, whatever. Natural titanium is fire, and it matches my watch perfectly. This is the one to get. Like, don't be fooled. It's Natty gang all day. Natty squad, Natty or nothing. Like, natural titanium. All right. Rant over. So of course the most notable change to the 15 Pro line is the fact that they've gone away from the mute switch and gone to what we call an action button. All of us out there that use the Apple Watch Ultra, we all know what an action button is. We've been using it for the past year or so. But it's something a little bit new and different with the iPhone Pro line, and I think it's actually a little bit better on the Pro. So with the action button on the iPhone, it now seems to be completely programmable. You can actually program any kind of shortcut to it, have it do all kind of crazy stuff. And to be honest, I'm actually probably in the minority of people that actually use the mute switch. Like, everyone says they left their phone on mute and never turned it back on. But me, I have kids, so I can't afford kids. I have one kid. I can't afford for my phone to be in mute all the time, but I do want it in mute at sometimes. So I actually do still have the action button programmed to the mute switch, and I might change it later on down the line. The only other thing that I could see myself programming it to is actually like for the camera shutter and for the camera activation button, but I actually use my mute switch. I know I'm weird, but the possibilities really do seem to be almost endless with the action button, and so much so that it almost feels intimidating to even venture into and decide to use, which is probably another reason why I only have it programmed to the mute switch. It's a little gimmicky, but I do see the fact that it is very useful in some certain use cases. The fact that you can program it to the camera and actually use the button as a shutter button is pretty dope, and that's something that I probably would consider using it for. The other major change to this year's iPhone is the fact that we now have USB-C. We can thank the EU for applying pressure. I wonder, we need to just send them our ransom note with our list of demands and have them pressure Apple to do everything else we want them to do, because this is pretty amazing. But now with USB-C, I can record directly to an SSD or an SD card, even with a USB-C dongle. So that is amazing. I've seen some pretty awesome videos already, one notably from Tyler Stallman on Twitter, where he used the 5x telephoto zoom with action mode, which is something that I never even thought to do, but it makes your footage super duper stable with that telephoto lens, which is amazing because those parallax shots are going to be so clean. I've been filming quite a bit on the iPhone 15 Pro Max in USB-C SSD, recording straight to my Samsung T5 and also to an SD card, recording in ProRes, 422, 10-bit, all that good stuff. I'm using the Blackmagic camera app and also the stock camera app, but the Blackmagic camera app gives you a lot of functionality and manual control, so that way you can adjust your shutter, let you adjust your ISO, all that good stuff. So I've been using it quite a bit, running around LA, getting some dope footage. I'm gonna compile all that into some kind of montage here, but I am super excited about content creation on the iPhone this year. Titanium on the rails has been pretty cool so far. I do like the fact that they have this rounded edge, so it feels much better in the hand. It's not as sharp. My pinky is definitely much happier. I have noticed the fact that it does get a little bit warm after some use. Like I said, I've been using this primarily for filming, so I've been doing a lot of heavy workload on there with the CPU and all that stuff, and also, you know, external power packs, charging through MagSafe. I've been putting this phone through its paces, so it has gotten warm to the touch, but after just normal use, I haven't experienced a lot of the same issues everyone else is saying that they've experienced with the phone overheating or doing anything crazy like that. It does get a little bit warm, but it's not unbearable. But all in all, despite any heat dissipation issues or whatever, I do like the finish of titanium. I like the fact that it is much lighter. This feels like an iPhone Plus instead of an iPhone 14 Pro Max or any of the still versions of the Pro Max we had back in the day or last year. This is actually the first phone that I might consider not having a case on. That's how good it feels in the hand. But that leads me to whether or not this phone is worth it or not, right? I mean, of course you got thinner bezels, you know, it's a nice looking phone. This is definitely the best iPhone that Apple has ever produced, but is it worth it, right? And I feel like we have to temper our expectations or adjust our mindset when we talk about whether, or when I say we, I mean us tech reviewer kind of people. We have to temper our thoughts and expectations and take away our bias and the fact that we upgrade our phones every single year. I'm fortunate enough to, you know, get my hands on a lot of new technology, and for someone that has a 14 Pro Max, a 13 Pro Max, 14, 13, whatever, the last 2-3 years of phones. Even if you have a 12, it might be worth skipping this phone. I wouldn't say it's necessarily worth it for anyone that has a 14, anyone that has a 13, with one very niche audience in mind or caveat. It's if you are a creator and you want to use your phone to create social media content, film, short films, anything crazy, you want to film on your phone, the iPhone 15 Pro and 15 Pro Max, especially with the new 5x telephoto zoom, this is the perfect phone for creators. I'm able to get 3 hours of ProRes 422 10-bit log straight to a 1 terabyte drive, recording straight from the phone. It's amazing. If you're planning on recording on your phone, using your phone for filming or content creation, this is the best phone to get. It almost feels like the 14 Pro Max was really a ripoff. For anyone out there that was looking to buy their phone to film ProRes video, it was really kind of a ripoff because they gave us a half-baked phone. This is the real 14 Pro Max we should have gotten a year ago, with the promise of being able to use it as a one-stop shop for all things creative. You got 3 lenses on here, a bunch of different focal lengths. The versatility is amazing. I was actually on a hill over at Elysian Park overlooking, it sounds crazy, but overlooking the LA skyline and also seeing the Dodger Stadium right there. And this guy was standing next to me, and come to find out, I was just talking to him. He works, he's like one of the lead editors for Disney. He works for FX or something like that. I'm talking to him. He has his Blackmagic Ursa 12K on sticks with a what kind of anamorphic lens, some big ass anamorphic lens on there, and he's getting this amazing sunset shot of the city. And I just have my iPhone I just have my iPhone on sticks right next to him. I'm like, oh man, I'm about to show you up with my iPhone 15 Pro Max. I put it on there, and just having the versatility to change different focal lengths with a tap of a button was amazing. Going to 120 mil and getting just the skyline in there, or backing out to 50 mil, getting the stadium and the skyline, doing time lapsing, log, switching everything just right there on the phone was amazing. Of course, his 12K is gonna resolve much better in post. It's gonna have way more latitude. His image is gonna look better because he's on actual anamorphic glass. But the fact that for, of course, a fraction of the cost, if I'm looking to get into creating, if I'm looking to film, when people ask me what camera should I get, it's gonna be a lot easier to recommend an iPhone now if you're looking to use it for video creation. Like when people say that corny ass line where they're like, oh, the best camera's in your pocket, like it low-key is now. Like if you're looking to actually use this phone for content creation, this is a good way to get your feet wet. But literally everyone else that has a 12 or older, don't worry about it. Don't feel FOMO, don't feel pressured to get these new phones. Like I said, unless you're doing any content creation, save your money. But for now, those are my first impressions of the iPhone 15 Pro Max. If you guys want to see much more content, I have a lot of content planned for this phone. Definitely subscribe. Definitely subscribe, because I have some cool stuff coming. I'm actually putting this phone through its paces, and I can't wait to share everything that I find with you guys. But it's been a pleasure as usual. Thank you for watching. Until next time, stay fresh. Peace.